So then it comes down to, okay, when is it time to sell? So this is another thing. I've always been obsessed with kind of cycles and market cycles. So I've developed a number of different really good tools to kind of help navigate when market cycles turn up or down. And so two tools that I use is one is I call a cycle reversal indicator. And the other tool that's a really good complement to add to it is what I call the extreme range band indicator. So here's an example of how these two tools combine. And then I also add my momentum can really help you pick when it's time to sell options or buy options. So here are a couple examples. This is on the S&P 500 SPX. This is a daily time frame, and these bands here are extreme range bands, which are based on average true range. So this blue one is 3 ATR away from the mean, which is basically this 20-period moving average. So when you get to this 3 ATR, you're getting very extreme and what I call stretched. So what tends to happen is you get too stretched from your moving average, then you're going to typically have a reversion back to that mean, and sometimes it overshoots. So when you get stretched up here, like here, this signal pops up, and you can see below is the actual indicator. So it's way overbought. It's overbought. This is actually an overbought, oversold indicator as well. So it's overbought over 90 percentile, but then the indicator crosses its moving average and gives that signal right there, purple arrow, and that's a really good indication. Okay, that's a good time to sell. So, by using this, you can do a lot of different things. You could sell out of the money bull bear call credit spreads, up and out of the money like that. So even if it does turn sideways, you're still making money. Do other strategies for that mean reversion, but that makes it a really good tool to kind of pick off when it is time to sell or buy. So that's an example of a daily cycle high reversal on the S&P. Here's an example of QQQ, the NASDAQ 100, and you can see up here, it has multiple cycle reversals. It shot through that 3 ATR here, gave us a reversal. So it's kind of transitioning, trying to figure out, okay, should it move lower? So here again, you could sell out of the money. There you could sell out of the money, and see it didn't go anywhere. So it just churned and then finally started coming off. So really great tool to kind of navigate and tell you when it's time to sell or time to buy. So that's an example, QQQ. Now here's an example of the natural gas, UNG, on a weekly long-term basis. And so setting up, there are three kind of things that I think look really, really interesting right now. One is natural gas. And so that's based because the weekly long-term time frame, you can see natural gas has had this huge sell-off. And so back here in June, we had a cycle reversal from that upside, and look, mean reversion. We had to move back up, and then look at this huge move down. We finally, just a week ago, had a cycle reversal on the weekly long term, and it's extremely oversold 10 percentile, been oversold for almost 3 months. So this gives you a really good potential here for maybe bigger, more upside on natural gas. So that's one play that we're currently in and using to see if we can kind of work this trade up. So here, let me just kind of pull up the chart and you can better see it. So if we look at natural gas as one play, I think has more potential upside, and it'd be one that we'll see if we can get a little bit of longer term movement for it. Now it's not going to go straight up, but it's going to back and fill in. But the point is, the potential is for a more of a bigger trend up. So you can see extensive move down. And then when we look at the weekly, this is where we go into when we have something that has a lot of pressure to the downside or upside. The weekly long term tells you when it's starting to bottom out. So here you can see it starting to bottom. You can see that cycle reversal there. And we're starting to base, and this has potential for a bigger trend up. So like the looks of that, and that's a good example to kind of illustrate get too overdone to the downside and too stretched. So what tends to happen, you get exhaustion of sellers, okay, and then finally that reverses, or you get an exhaustion of buyers in this example right here. So natural gas had a huge run up, but then finally ran out of buyers, so exhausted and came back down. So it's been a great tool for kind of showing us when it's time to buy or sell. So that's another example, UNG, and then here's one of Tesla. So you can see, remember Tesla had that massive sell-off down under, right to 100. And then on the weekly, long term, we had a cycle reversal, and then it's been up ever since. So this has been a really good tool. So see how oversold it was for a considerable period of time, which you can stay oversold or overbought. But then it reversed here, and we've been on a trend. It's gone from basically 100, and now it's up close to 200. So it's a great tool for managing that. Here's a cycle reversal to the downside. So this has been a great tool that we use kind of to give us that navigation.